Welcome to Discovering. Tonight is part one of an Isle Royale adventure that my dad and I went on with UP Adventure Company.
We haven't had anybody disappointed in a trip out here yet, so I think it's impossible.
We do some sightseeing and a lot of fishing.
There we go. First Isle Royale fish.
So sit back and relax. It's Monday night and it's time for Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
I've meant to get back to Isle Royale since I first went in 2021. The remote island archipelago of Lake Superior has been calling, and I just haven't had time to answer. So when Lacy and Justin Cygan of UP Adventure Company invited me to tag along on their annual Labor Day weekend trip, I of course said yes. And I asked if I could bring my dad along too. Lacy and Justin brought their two little ones, 5-year-old Hazel and 10-month-old Stanley, so it's a fun family adventure. And it's also Justin's birthday weekend. Our adventure began on a beautiful afternoon at the Eagle Harbor Marina. The forecast for the entire weekend was perfect. From Eagle Harbor, we have a 49-mile boat ride. Lake Superior was a bit rough with 1 to 3 foot waves, but the Hughes craft had no problem charging across the big lake. I was curious, at what point is it impossible to travel across the lake?
Usually when you start getting small craft advisories and it's blowing pretty hard, yeah, it's no go.
Well, we always plan for a day before and a day after the trip for any kind of, weather patterns. That's pretty much our job is dependent on the weather and the waves and the wind. If they don't cooperate with us, we don't go out, or we unfortunately have to stay a day later here, but we always plan with extra food.
2 hours and 20 minutes later, we were greeted by the islands, Rock Harbor Lighthouse, and what could be the oldest tree on Isle Royale. Dad has only been to Isle Royale once, when he was 12 years old, for a day trip to Rock Harbor. Over 50 years later, he's experiencing most of it for the first time. We started in Rock Harbor, meeting up with some of Justin and Lacy's friends who joined us for our first couple of nights. Campsites are first come, first serve on Isle Royale, and we spent night 1 at Belle Isle Campground since it was available. With a couple hours left before dark, we all piled back into the boat to catch dinner and watch the sunset. There are many bays around the island that hold large northern pike.
A lot of the bays are pretty good. Bays and coves. Just got to poke around a little bit.
That's a nice fish.
A nice little guy, good eater.
Awesome.
I think tonight after this a little bit, we should probably go out to the mouth and do a little lake trout fishing before we head back to camp, before it gets too late.
As we were reeling up for the evening, Bryant had a big fish on.
Let him take a little, but you want to keep pressure on the line. Don't let him shake you. Look at his mouth. Yeah, it feels like a good one. Getting close, maybe, huh? There it is. Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
What a beauty.
Beautiful.
Good. Holy moly.
Are your biggest?
Yeah, it's my first actually.
That's your first?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the
wow.
very first.
Watching someone catch a first is always great, especially when it's at Isle Royale. So far, it's looking like it's going to be an awesome trip. Our first morning, we were treated to a beautiful sunrise. I'm a local history nerd, so I found this island's history to be quite fascinating. It was once home to Belle Isle Resort. At its peak, the resort included 28 cottages, and today only one of the cabins still stands, and a pavilion with an old fireplace, which is quite nice on a cold night. And these are the cement slabs of a shuffleboard court. My favorite part that I knew nothing about until I got here, the resort included a 9-hole par 3 golf course where the campground shelters now sit. The fairways are grown over now, and you can no longer tell a golf course was here, and I can only imagine what it was like to play around on a remote island in the middle of the greatest lake. After a delicious breakfast, we packed up and moved to our next campsite that we would stay the rest of our trip. There are many ways to experience Isle Royale, and each brings different opportunities.
Because it is a chain of 450 islands, private boat is small as ours, which is 23 feet with the extended transom. We can access a lot of these islands. We are able to beach our boat as well. So we pretty much have full reign that, bigger boats can't really do, or it would just be too much for a little boat or a kayak.
Our itinerary for this trip is pretty lax, fishing and sightseeing, and we will just see where each day takes us.
Sometimes people have big goals and ambitions and they want to get a lot done, but sometimes you just get exhausted when you're doing all these hikes and then you go spend hours on the lake, and our plans kind of change then, and they're like, oh, maybe we'll relax a little more today, or maybe we'll just go fishing today because the weather's nice, and we'll go hiking tomorrow because it's going to be like a little rainy or something.
The weather dictates a lot of what can be done, but the weather wasn't an issue this weekend. We decided to hike up to Lookout Louise, a top spot to see. Literally, it's a mile uphill trek to the top. On our way there, from the boat, we could see the scarred landscape left by the horn fire of 2021. The fire was started by a lightning storm after a dry summer, burning 335 acres. The trail up to Lookout Louise passes by Hidden Lake, which looks like a great place to spot moose, but unfortunately, no moose. I did see some fresh tracks though. Instead of a moose, we ran into the current artist in residence, Riley McManus, who was hiking up to Monument Rock with all his art supplies on his back. 3/4 of the way up to Lookout Louise is a really cool geological feature called Monument Rock. The horn fire has now made this icon visible from below. I don't have first-hand knowledge of what this place looked like before, but online it says that Monument Rock was once shrouded by a dense boreal forest. Probably what we were hiking through before we hit the burn area. Today, Monument Rock stands tall, a natural sculpture overlooking the charred ridge of dead trees, boulders, and the vegetation that flourishes after fire. We followed Riley up to Monument Rock, and he was kind enough to share with us what he was creating.
I'm Riley McManus. I am an artist in residence here at Isle Royale. So for the past week, I've been taking textures out in the wilderness of rocks and trees and anything else I can capture with clay. Ceramics is my main medium. So in my proposal, I told them I wanted to come out here and get as many textures from around the island as I could and create an archive of the textures of the island that people can then hold and handle even if they never get to come here. So that's what I'm doing. This is my setup. I have a backpack, external frame with clay slabs, and then I have foam pads in this gray tote, and so once I capture a texture, I can put them in there and continue on my hike. So we are at Monument Rock, and I'm going to be taking a texture of the rock face here. It's a really nice one. It has very subtle bumps to it, but it also has some pretty cool cracks going in it. Make sure everywhere is pressed. I'll take this back to my studio, fire it, and then I can press a fresh slab into it and get the same image as here. Because right now it's a negative, but then I can get that positive, so it's actually like the original.
Riley is one of only 3 artists in residence selected this year.
I've applied for a couple years now. This year there were 254 applicants, and I'm one of 3 to be selected, so I'm really grateful and excited to be here. And yeah, so I'll use these textures that I gather to build sculptures, but also functional work. I want people to use these, maybe remind them of the island and their time here.
We made it to the top of Lookout Louise. The view was worth the climb, and then it was all downhill the way back. Isle Royale has its own clock. Other than watching the sunrise or sunset, it doesn't feel like you need to be anywhere at a specific time.
I would say the biggest report back is probably how life-changing it is to come out here, and how people are able to fully relax and let go of stresses on the mainland. Like when you come out here, time just doesn't apply. It's either the sun is up or it's not. It's just different out here, and you just slow down and you just feel free.
Getting some good photos?
I think so.
A lot of this trip is about fishing the Lake Superior waters around the islands. On multiple evenings, we hit the bays targeting northern pike. And on one of those evenings, we had more time for fishing, and we hit the right bay at the right time.
A lot of the pike fishing we've done is in the evening, so we don't get up too early that many times and go out in early morning. Everybody sleeps in.
On the boat with us is Ray Dumas, one of the many friends Lacy and Justin have made over the years here.
Good job.
Thank you. 40 inch? No, not quite 40. Maybe 25.
I got one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Fish on, fish on.
I got a fish. Ain't a very big one either.
See him?
Yeah, you see him? Yeah, my first fish on Isle Royale. Yeah. I gotta get him a boat yet.
Nice one.
All right.
Yeah. Good eater.
Mine looks fatter.
He's talking smackers.
That's all right. We can eat them. We can eat them both. Because that is good eating. Oh yeah, that's a good eater.
Legal minimum size for pike in these waters is 24 inches, and a couple of these will make a great dinner.
There we go. First Isle Royale fish.
All right, well that's a good sign. 5 minutes and we got 2 fish, I think. It doesn't get much better than that.
Pike Slime Club.
So now we just got to upgrade.
Tell me, what is this Pike Slime Club?
So it's my best friend Jeff Hario, his son Max and Ray went out fishing in one of the bays. And what did Max catch, like a 42 or something incher?
I caught a 40.
Ray caught a 40.
10 minutes later, he caught a 41.
Yeah, and then Max beat him with a 41, and they're sitting in the boat, all the pike slime from the fish. He threw it back. He's like, "Hey, Ray." He just took the slime and right down his face. So that's how the Pike Slime Club was formed.
There's some beasts. I've seen fish here, well over 50. They just look at your bait and laugh, I think. But there's certainly some big fish. I've heard the biggest is 53. None of us that I know caught it, but that's the big one so far.
That's a good one, Ray. It might be 40.
Oh, it is a good one.
Might be 40.
Nice fish, Captain. At 38 inches, that's a beauty, but not quite big enough to make it into the Pike Slime Club.
Putting on a little masterclass.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that is. Pour it on the mouth again. Whoa. Yeah, baby. Putting on the masterclass, Captain. Oh my God! Yeah, that bugger.
Wow.
Oh, pike slime. You want to see a pike slime club?
That's a pike slime. That's a pike slime. You're getting the pike slime inside.
Why not? Plus, these are my fish. Not gonna kill me.
Birthday boy had the most luck and the biggest fish. I didn't catch any pike. I was able to cast a few times, but Justin, Dad, and Ray kept me busy filming, which is okay with me. I am just as happy behind the camera. There are 4 lighthouses on Isle Royale's outer islands. On one of these days, conditions were right for us to dock right next to the lighthouse on Passage Island.
We are at probably my favorite island right now. This is Passage Island, featuring the Passage Island Lighthouse. It's got 2 docks, and one of the docks has about a mile hike uphill both ways to the island, to the lighthouse. So this is one of my favorite places just to chill and imagine what life was like living here back in the day, you know, as a lightkeeper with your family.
Completed in 1882, the Passage Island Light guides ships between Isle Royale's main island and Passage Island. The narrow passage is just over 3 miles wide, and mariners call it threading the needle between the islands. Our timing was perfect, and we watched one freighter pass through. This is an incredibly beautiful spot with the dramatic rock formations and rocky cliffs overlooking the crystal clear blue waters of Lake Superior. I think Dad was ready to move here. It was here I chatted with Lacy and Justin about their charter company.
Lacy started a business in 2022. Just got a lot of recent seed time that year to establish a relationship with the park. And then 2023, we got all our permits. And
They are one of only a few charters at Isle Royale.
nobody else really does it. Rock Harbor Lodge has their fishing charters, but nobody really does the type of stuff we do, so.
We do mostly Isle Royale adventures that include fishing, camping, hiking, backcountry. We feature all-inclusive trips, so our guests don't have to worry about anything. No permits, no camping gear, no food or beverages. We try to make it as easy for people as possible.
There's a lot more than meets the eye to running a charter company to Isle Royale.
It's expensive. There are a lot of regulations and rules in place, and it's a very intense off-site catering job also. So there's a lot of overhead and logistics that go into planning these trips and safety and everything like that. But we make it happen, and it's super enjoyable, and everybody has a great time. Couldn't ask for a better job.
This business started with a boat that they bought to spend more time together as a family.
Hazel has special needs, and I just want to spend more family time, and I want to just get back into boating and fishing, and just kind of snowballed with her business idea. And yeah, the Hazy J was born, so.
So that's named after our daughter Hazel Jean, the skipper. She's a very special little girl. She's 5 years old. She was diagnosed with a rare genetic mutation called DDX3X syndrome, which is a rare genetic mutation on her X chromosome that causes physical and cognitive disabilities. And she has just made our world so much better, and we got this whole boat and everything for her so that she could experience the best things in life, and it all just snowballed into this.
Tune in next week for more of our Isle Royale adventure. And this weekend is the UP Ice Fishing and Hunting Expo at the State Fairgrounds in Escanaba. There will be a bunch of vendors for you to go and check out. Admission is free, but please bring a non-perishable food item to donate to the local food pantry or an item that can be donated to the Delta County Animal Shelter. And I hope to see you right back here next week for Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.